Welcome to day number 1 of Ancient Inheritance. Before we start, we'll jump right into what most of you came here for, the map. Here's the map of floor number 1. This includes pathing that I recommended for our guild. You don't have to use this pathing, and there will be a blank map that you can draw on for your own guild, linked in the description. Don't forget to join my Discord, also linked in the description, for up-to-the-minute maps and a good place to ask me questions if you have any concerns on how to proceed in this. Remember that Ancient Inheritance is guild-based PvE, and you want to be in a good, active, aggressive guild for this event to really min-max your rewards and progress in it. So if you're not in a guild, make sure you jump in my Discord and I will help you get into a good guild so that you can really milk this event for all it's worth. Now, remember, even if you don't have time to do Ancient Inheritance, the very first thing you want to do is jump in and get yourself on the map. If you're not on the map, you won't qualify for any of the rewards the rest of your guildmates might get as they kill mini bosses and wardens and even the priests. So if you got something else to do today, just jump on the map and then jump right back out again and then take care of your daily business. But get yourself placed on the map so you don't miss out on any of those sweet rewards. The first thing that will happen when you're placed on the map is you'll be faced with the starting relic choice. I always recommend Wanderer's Pipe or Exploration Journal as your starting one. I think Wanderer's Pipe is just a little bit better on EXP earned, and you don't have to go out of your way to chase after books. So I'm going to follow my pathing on the map, which will take me up and to the left over to the first scroll. Now, it was really early when I recorded this, so I kind of made a little bit of a screw up. Before you grab any scrolls, you want to make sure you enlist a few heroes, because you see one of my options was a fight. If that option had been better, I would be disappointed because I missed out. But I'm going to take 70 experience points over 100 shop currency any day, so that 70 experience points levels me up. But I do want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So we'll go ahead and enlist some heroes so that if we come across another scroll, we'll be ready for a fight. Okay, Luna and Acades should be able to handle anything this game throws at me. And let's spend those class enhancement points. I debated going with other classes because I've always done Warriors, but Warriors is just simply the best class for me personally to play. I think it's the best one for Ancient Inheritance, and I want to make sure I do the best I can for my guild, so I'm not going to mess around with other classes right now. I'm just going to go with Warriors and Weavers. If you do other classes, please post team comp ideas in the comments section for other people. Okay, so according to my pathing, I head up and to the right, and there should be a relic shrine up here for me to grab. There it is. Hopefully I get a good relic. Normal fights, normal fights. I guess I'm taking the extra provisions, but you know what? I'm completely fine with extra provisions. It lets me push further in this event and do some more fights. So we'll be coming up to our first mini boss here, and this one is a Constorum of Revulsion. I have no idea what a Constorum is, but what it actually is a unit that is easy to beat with Edward, because he has skills where he puts burns on all of your units, and he detonates the burns when he does his ultimate attack. He also builds up speed, self-CR pushes, and the longer the fight goes on, the less healing works until you actually get to a point where you can't heal at all. So really good units for this fight are ones that cleanse and ones that can't be debuffed. And that's what makes Ed really good here. He flings those debuffs back, does extra damage. He can just about solo the thing himself if you're high enough level. So before we do this fight, I need to jump out and enlist some units. I'll pick up Ed because he's darn near immortal in this fight. Kitty Clarissa, she's got cleanses and dual attacks. Conqueror Lilius I'll pick up for later. I'm going to use Euphine as my defense breaker, and that should make for a solid offense. Okay, so let's jump into this fight. So we'll put Ed up front, so he's most likely to get burned and counterattacked. We'll run Acades in the back with some for the healer. Remember, her healing is going to start to go away, so she's more there for the cleansing than the healing. Kitty Clarissa for the cleansing, and Euphine is my defense breaker. So I've got Ed on his own artifact to boost crit chance, so that'll take him up to 57% crit chance. I got Acades on Rod, a little bit of extra healing while healing still works. I put Euphine on Azure Comet, that gets her up to 71% crit chance. And I got Kitty Clarissa on Midnight Bloom, an important one here, because that'll add 16% crit chance to my Ed and my Euphine, and hopefully that's enough where I don't miss too many crits. And remember to turn auto off. Your very first fight in Ancient Inheritance, auto is always on for some reason, and if you don't turn it off, well, you waste an attack like I did there with Euphine. I really would rather have S1'd with her to try to get a defense break. Kitty Clarissa transforms, dual attack. Hopefully I get a defense break here, and I do not. And that right there is what makes Ed so broken in this fight. Him being able to fling the burns back and do damage. Ugh, no crit. I'm sitting at about, what, 75% crit chance? So he should crit more often than not. I'll go ahead and top off the healing while I still can, because every round that goes by, every turn the Constorum takes, I'm able to heal less and less. And that includes Ed's life stealing. Okay, defense break this time. There we go. Now we can do some good damage.
I won't lose. Be well. I'll show you the dragon's power.
Since the defense break's already up, I'll use the S2, give myself an attack buff. Since Ed's an HP scaler, I wasn't worried too much about attack buffing him. That's the primary reason I didn't take Camilla for this. Unlucky. So we'll heal up. Less about the healing, more about getting rid of the burns, because the Constorum's about ready to do his ultimate, and that right there would have detonated all the burns and likely would have killed a couple of my units. Reestablish the defense break with her S1 attack. I'm getting pretty lucky on those defense breaks.
Destroying everything? Now it's too annoying.
I should start burning Ed's S3. There's no reason to be holding these souls, and that'll cycle his big damage S3 a little bit more often. I think our S3 does more damage than our S1 even without a buff up. Yeah, I think so. Only about 10k though. Yeah, and only 9k from the S1, so definitely better to use the S3. Okay, I only got 22 health healing on that Ed's lifesteal, so we're down to the point where we get almost nothing from our healing anymore, so I'm going to start to die off pretty quickly here. Good, good, good. Keeping the defense breaks up, that's huge. Ooh, the burns detonated on Euphine, so she's hurting for health badly. I'm going to go ahead and soul burn to try to get what I can out of this heal. So this is one of the biggest heals in the game. Soul burn Acades S3, and it healed for only 1900 health. So you can see why the further this fight goes, the less you're going to be able to just heal through it. So it's best to take multiple damage dealing units like I have here, and not to try to just stack up mitigators and healers. You aren't going to be able to tank this one. No defense break, but I'm going to start burning his Ed's S3s just to cycle it faster. I don't think Euphine and Kitty are long for this world, but because of his lifesteal and because of his barriers on his S1, Edward is tanking up pretty well.
Were you waiting for me?
Oops, that was a misclick. I'm going to soul burn for the extra turn. We'll give myself an attack buff. And we'll go ahead and S3 for some extra damage. Oh, you know, I should have S1 for the defense break. That's okay. Hopefully I get it with Kitty here. Defense break. Nope, resisted. And there goes my breaker. So now that Kitty Clarissa is dead, I've lost the effect of Midnight Bloom, so I'm going to be critting a lot less. I'm going to be hanging out down here around 47% crit chance, so about every other hit should crit with Ed. Missed crit. Did I get a crit with this one? Man, 50% crit chance feels really bad. Wow. So I got lucky with the defense breaks early on, but I guess I'm paying for it with not being able to crit. Acades no longer heals. We were far enough into the fight where I no longer have any healing. So Acades really does nothing but cleanse, and Ed doesn't really need the cleanse, so she's just going to sit there and do nothing the rest of this fight. Man, I'm sorry for sounding so low energy. I really need some coffee. Okay, Edward's S1 is probably better than his S3 at this point because the shield will help keep me alive. So, would have been better to use his S3, or S1. The S3 does do more damage, but the shields help. Now I'm getting some crits off. Well, I was getting some crits off. I'll tell you what though, all by myself I did half of this boss's bar. I think if instead of Euphine I'd taken Camilla, I probably could have cleared a little bit deeper on the damage, but still, doing half of a mini boss's bar all by yourself is plenty. I'm not worried about it though, because Baka and the Money Man are right behind me. Both fabulous streamers, by the way. Their Discords will be linked in the description. You should definitely check those guys out. They'll be able to finish this off for me, but 244,000, not bad for level 2 warriors on this Constorum. So we'll wait just for a minute, and there. Baka actually finished it off all by himself, so the Money Man can help me out on the next fight. So my pathing takes me up and to the left so I can grab that scroll. Before I click on the scroll real quick, I want to enlist a couple of extra fighters just in case there's a fight option. I want to be able to handle doing a fight. So let's see. There's a fight option, but it's just not worth taking. So I'll grab this left side one and we will move on towards the Warden. So that's a knight statue. I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time and grab a knight statue thinking it's a warrior statue. So I'll just go ahead and head up north. I'm skipping the books because I don't have the exploration journal. You really should not take the books if you don't have the exploration journal relic because they're limited usage. Hey, I got a warrior boosting artifact or relic. Very nice. So that sets me up in pretty good position for doing some high damage on the Warden fight. I'm going to slide over and grab the tent. If you count the spaces, it's 2 extra steps to get to this tent. And on floor number 1, the tent only gives 3 provisions. So it's kind of a push. It's not really worth going out of your way to get this tent. Go ahead and head on up. We'll loop around to the left. There's another relic shrine up here. Now, something you want to be careful about with a third relic shrine is you want to make sure you have space for that third relic. As you can see, I don't technically have a spot for a relic, but because one of them was a provision, I can replace the provision with, hey, 12 more provisions. We take this. If you don't have a relic you want to replace, you just wasted 5 provisions clicking on a shrine only to exit out. So make sure you've got room or you've got a relic you're okay with replacing before you use that third relic shrine. And this one's a tough choice. I can get 1 currency or 2 currency, but it costs me 2 provisions. But normally I would recommend the not wasting provisions, but 1 class enhancement this early in the game is pretty nice. So, and I did just get a whole bunch of food provisions, so I'm going to go ahead and take that one. Okay, we'll slide up here to the Warden and get a team going. First, the Warden's skills. He has a seal skill, so all of your passives are sealed throughout the entire fight. And he gets an extra turn when somebody on your team dies, so basically when you start to die, you're going to die a lot faster. He gives himself CR pushes and goes faster and faster and does more damage. After you attack, he gets a 10% CR push, and he does additional damage to the entire team, kind of like a Rangar's Drink pop style damage. So what it's basically saying is don't use units that rely on passives, and don't try to bruiser it, just try to burst them down as quickly as possible. Now, Luna relies on passives, and I kind of forgot about that a little bit, and it cost me a lot of points, but we'll get into that later. First, before we do anything else, I want to make sure my classes are topped off. Go ahead and take warriors up to level 4, which is really nice. That's 1 above where most people would be at this point, so I should do pretty good damage. And I'll top my soul weavers off. Now we're going to add Camilla to the team, and I'm going to run Camilla, Luna, Amelia for my healer. I want another... Ken would do good damage, and he's a defense breaker, but I've already got Camilla for a defense breaker. I think I just want to go as much burst damage as possible, so I'm going to take another dual attack unit. Okay, Sinful Angelica it is. So here's the team. We run Sinful Angelica up front, mostly because she's got Prophetic Candlestick. I'll stick Camilla and Luna and Amelia on the team. I'm going to switch Camilla and Amelia's spots so that Camilla benefits from the imprint from Sinji. Now Camilla I've got on Benimaru's artifact so that she'll have non-stop attack buffs. I put Prophetic Candlestick on Singelica. Luna I have on Azure Comet, and this is where I kind of make a mistake. I have Amelia on Midnight Bloom, but I'm looking at Luna and I'm seeing that 99% crit chance, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't need all this crit stuff, so I switched Amelia to a healing artifact and Luna to a DPS artifact. And the reason that was a mistake is that crit chance is reflecting Luna's passive, which is a big crit chance boost. And with passives being sealed, she loses that crit chance boost, and as a result, I proc a lot of missed crits in this fight. Whereas if I had left those artifacts on, the crit boosting artifacts, Midnight Bloom and Azure Comet, I would have crit a lot more often and procced a much higher score than I did. So that's my own pre-coffee screw-up, is forgetting that Luna's high crit chance is because of her passive. So we'll get an attack buff on everybody, and I'm actually going to push Luna up ahead of Camilla so that I can use her S3 and hopefully get a defense break. There's my missed crit, but I got the defense break. So what you want to do with Luna is if a defense break is up, you always S1. And if a defense break is not up, you always S3. Her S1, if you get a 4-hit or 5-hit proc, will do way more damage than her S3 does into a defense break. The reason Luna's S3 hits so hard is it's got some penetration built into the skill, so there's no reason to use it against an already defense broken target. Anytime you can soul burn Luna, you should. Remove the RNG and get a nice solid 5-hit, 36k from a single hit. Another 27k on a dual attack from a 4-hit. We'll go ahead and push Luna again to give her the attack buff back. And we've got a burn. There's no defense break, so I want to use her S3. The missed crits are killing me, and a resisted. That's disappointing. Now, because we've been saving Camilla's S2, if Benimaru's artifact doesn't proc, we can still use it, but since Benimaru's artifact procced, there's no reason to waste her S2. We want to save that to buff Luna. We'll soul burn and not get the defense break. 15%. Man, so this cost me a lot of points. And I missed crit, cost me even more points. Okay, his AoE attack strips, by the way, so we'll go ahead and push up Luna, get an attack buff on her. Thank goodness for a Prophetic Candlestick, or Singelica would be dead. No defense break, so we S3. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've got a single crit off her S3. Okay, we do have the defense break. I do have an attack buff. Oh, I forgot to turn on the in-game sound effects. Sorry about that. Okay, so we get our dual attack off. We got a nice solid 5-hit. Get some barriers up to help people live a little longer. I think Singelica's time in this world is almost done.
I'm on my way.
4-hit off of Luna. We'll go ahead and cycle Sinji around so she can get one more hit off. Soul burn on Luna. Every time there's a defense break up, you want to soul burn Luna. Oh, free dual attack. I'm going to use my S2 here to give Luna an attack. Actually, no, I'm not, because the boss is going to AoE, which strips. So I'm saving the S1 on Camilla so that I can use it here and get an attack buff off.
I'm on my way.
Oh, if I survive. Oof. Oh, so yeah, best laid plans. Still, 326,000. That probably would have been closer to 450 to 500,000 if I had left those crit chance boosting artifacts on. So be wary about Luna's passive being sealed. It'll look like she has way more crit chance than she does. I hope this video was enjoyable and helps you with your first floor. Maybe later today I'll have have another video up where we fight the mini boss or the priest up top side. But if not, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Remember to hit me up on Discord, especially if you need a guild. We have plenty of guilds who are recruiting, and you want to be in a good guild for this event. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great one, everybody.